Hello everyone and welcome back to Lucky Loaders 15, where I'll be giving you 4 of my best tips for tomorrow's racing. Now before we get stuck into that, quickly just want to say, if you haven't listened to the latest episode of the In the Saddle podcast, please make sure you check it out, where this week our special guest was jockey Daryl Jacob. We were previewing this weekend's racing at Kempton, Newcastle, and we also as well took a look at the National Spirit Hurdle at Fontwell on Sunday. That looks like a really good renewal. So if you want to listen to our thoughts and feelings, there'll be links to it in the description box below. We've got all the major podcast platforms covered, including the likes of iTunes, Spotify and Soundcloud. So whichever one takes your fancy, just hit one of the links in the description box below. And also as well, we're giving away a free giveaway competition on our Twitter feed. So if you want to follow us on Twitter, where our handle is @InTheSaddlePod, you'll see the competition, all the T's and C's on there. So if you want to enter it, that's the place to go to. So yeah, that's all I've got to say about that. Also as well, I quickly just want to reflect on our only selection today. That was finest at Gorcum in the Devon National for Bryony and Jimmy Frost. No complaints in the end, was just outclassed on the day, was up there with the front rank for the majority of the race, but in the end just didn't have the engine to compete against some better rivals. He jumped well for a long way, but like I said there, he just got a bit tired and he was just a bit outclassed. So yeah, that's how he went today. But yeah, a little bit frustrating there, but hopefully we can bounce back tomorrow and find some more winners, after which has not been a bad week for us. I'm not going to complain. We had a good day on Thursday, not a bad day on Monday as well, so it's not been a bad week this week, and fingers crossed we can take that form into the weekend. So let's get into the 4 tips for tomorrow's racing. And my first selection is going to be coming in the 240, the Winter Derby Group 3 at Lingfield, their feature of the all-weather season. And I'm going to be going with my extra tip here, Johnny Drama. He's currently available at the time recording with bookmakers at 7-1 for Ryan Moore and Andrew Boulding in the colours of the King Power Group. Now, since this horse has been running on the all-weather this winter, we've really seen some of his best form in these colours. He's always been well thought of as a nice horse, but the all-weather seemed to bring out a new light in him, and he put together a nice sequence of wins in the winter. He put together 4 wins in handicaps on a variety of different tracks. He ran at Kempton, he ran at Southwell as well. He really was progressing really nicely. And the last time we saw him, his winning streak did come to an end, but it was in a really warm contest when he finished 5th in the Quebec Stakes at Lingfield over the course and distance. That was a really hot renewal, that race. He had to give away £3 to Sangarius, who's a Royal Ascot winner and is still fairly unexposed. And also as well, he had the likes of Bangkok in there. That was quite a good renewal. We saw obviously Bangkok boost that form to somewhat of an extent by taking the Winter Derby trial. He actually won this race last year, but it's interesting that we're not seeing him, and Andrew Boulding has decided to send Johnny Drama. But I think Johnny Drama ran a little bit better than the bare form suggested when he finished 5th last time out. Like I said, I think the Quebec Stakes was quite a deep race for the time of year, and it was a good effort. Also as well, we had to give away £3. He was carrying the penalty there. Now if you look at the field in this race tomorrow, I think Johnny Drama is a great bet at 7-1, and it's going to be really interesting to see how it plays tactically. Now Ryan Moore, I think tomorrow will want to be positive on this horse. We've seen this horse make the running in the past or been handy, and Ryan Moore over the last couple of weeks or so, when he's been riding at Lingfield on the odd occasion, has been absolutely dominating the track there. You might remember he put together a nice sequence of wins where I think he had a 4-timer a couple of weeks ago, and that was actually when he rode Bangkok to victory in the Winter Derby trial. That was an absolute masterclass that day of a ride. And I just think he might just get into a nice early lead here, and he might just stack them up and then just kick for home when they're not expecting it. I could really see him putting together a tactical masterclass on this horse. He's officially the best horse in the race on his rating. I think he's rated 109, which means he's better than Forrester Dean, he's better than Felix. I understand that they weren't far behind Bangkok last time out, but I think Johnny Drama is a better horse than they are. And also as well, father of Jazz, even though his last time out win at Lingfield looked very impressive, this is going to be a whole new ball game for him. And at the prices, I just thought Johnny Drama might be worth a saver. So that's why I'm going to recommend a 0.5 win only bet at 7-1. It's kind of a win or bust option, but I just think with Ryan Moore in the plate. This could be a tactical masterclass from him, and I'm hoping he can get the job done and give King Power another winner in the race. So that's going to be my extra tip there. We then go to Kempton for the Dovecot hurdle in the 3 o'clock Grade 2 novice hurdle for my next best, and I'm going to be going with Atholl Street here for Harry Cobden and Paul Nicholls in the colours of Trevor Hemmings. Now, I will admit that this race is a really weak renewal of this race. It's not normally the most strongest of contests, but I thought Atholl Street stuck out like a sore thumb, to be honest with you. Now, he does have an official rating of 135, which is the best in the race. I will admit there are a couple of unexposed types, like the Dan Skelton horse, and also as well the Irish Raider Cap Gentleman is interesting. But I thought Atholl Street's last performance at Taunton was very exceptional. Now, he had to give away a penalty that day, and even though the form, it doesn't look the greatest on earth, I just thought he created such a great impression that day when he absolutely hosed up by 16 lengths. The form, I think, is not too bad. The horses in behind, the second, third and fourth, have all run okay subsequently in all-weather jumpers, bumpers. Obviously, that form is hard to weigh up, but I don't think it was a bad performance at all. And also, as well, what's going to be in his favour tomorrow is the ground. Both his wins at Taunton came on good ground. There's not any rain forecast. It's going to be nice, lovely spring jumping ground at Kempton tomorrow. I think that'll be right down his street. Ideally, in time, he's probably going to get slightly further, this horse. He's from the family of Kicking King, also as well quite closely related to Kalashnikov, so he's got a really classy pedigree. But I just think this horse is still on an upward curve, and if all things go to plan, the plan is to go to Aintree with him instead of Cheltenham. So I think Atholl Street will take all the beating in this race tomorrow. He's currently available at 2-1. Not the most original selection in the world, but I just thought he ticks all the boxes. And I think he'll take all the beating. So I'm going to recommend a 1-point win bet as my next best of the day. We then go to the 3:15, the Ida Chase. Now, this is where my nap is going to be here. And I'm going to be going with Salty Boy, which is currently available at 9-2. Now, I actually put this horse up as my nap of the weekend in the Saddle podcast, and when we were recording last night, he was 8-1, and he's been the subject of a bit of a gamble. I don't know if that's my money, who knows, but yeah, this horse, Salty Boy, I've been following him on quite a few starts this season. I remember putting him up on my YouTube channel here when he finished third in the Tommy Whittle at Haydock, and then I was quite keen on his chances at Plumpton in the Sussex National, where he was well supported that day. He was well found in the market, but in the end, he just got outsped at a crucial point, and I just don't think the nature of the track at Plumpton would have suited him. But to be fair, it didn't look a bad race at all on paper. It's produced a few winners, the likes of Dawson City, and a couple of others as well. I know the Gary Moore horse has come out and won since. So yeah, it was quite a good renewal, I think, of the Sussex National. And I just think stepping up in trip tomorrow to the 4 miles will definitely bring out further more improvement in this horse. I just think he's as slow as a hearse, you know. I just think he's an absolute boat, but I think he'll need every inch of a trip, and going up in trip I think will really help him, because if you watch the replay back at Plumpton, he was rallying again and staying on in the closing stages, and it didn't look like he was stopping. So I just think he's a one-paced horse, but I just think that this track at Newcastle and the distance will really suit him. Trained by David Bridgewater, Brendan Powell's in the plate tomorrow, carrying a bottom weight. He's been catching the eye so many times this season. He's got form with Sam's Adventure when they finished, or when he finished third behind him in the Tommy Whittle chase at Haydock. But we're going to be better off the weights, as Sam's Adventure has gone up the weight since that win. So I think there's a lot to like about Salty Boy's chance tomorrow. I think he'll take all the beating in this race. And David Bridgewater, I think, has had this race earmarked for quite some time. And I just think off the mark of 124, I think it's now or never. It's the last chance saloon with Salty Boy, really, because I don't think he's got no excuses tomorrow. But yeah, I just think he's got it all in his favour tomorrow. He's going to be getting plenty of weight from the likes of Cross Park and that as well. I just think that he's got an excellent chance, and that's why he's going to be my nap of Saturday. So that's going to be Salty Boy in the 3:15 Ida Chase at Newcastle. We then go to my long shot of the day, which runs in the 3:35 at Kempton, and I'm going to be going with Mellow Ben here for Dickie Johnson and Chris Gordon. Now again, I have put this horse up on one occasion this season, actually when he ran at Kempton last time. I remember we put him up with the extra places and he just did sneak in the extra places to finish in 4th. But it was a really good race that day when he finished 4th at Kempton, behind the likes of Royal Pagay, Cap de Nord, and also as well Double Shuffle. We've seen that race work out really well. But if you go back and you look at Mellow Ben's performance as a whole, I think that was actually a really good run on soft ground that wouldn't have suited him. Most of his best form has actually come on good ground, and like I said earlier, it's going to be good ground at Kempton tomorrow. I just think that's really going to suit him. Also as well, he's off his last winning mark still, 135, so it's a really workable mark for him, and I just think he's got a nice pot in him of this nature. Also as well, if you go back through the form, he actually finished 3rd behind Cap de Nord at Newbury, and Canelo split him that day of Alan Kings, and he went on to win the Roland Merrick Chase at Wetherby. So he's been running in some decent competitive races on his last couple of starts. He's 14-1 with bookmakers at the moment. That price is available SkyBet, who are offering 6 places. I think he's a great each way bet. He'll be handy. He likes Kempton, and I just think the style of running tomorrow at Kempton will really suit him, being handy. If he can get into a good jumping rhythm with a nice aggressive jockey in Dickie Johnson, I think he could go very close in this race, and I think he'll be involved in the finish. So yeah, 14-1 tomorrow. I think he's a cracking each way bet, and that's why he's going to be my long shot of Saturday. So I'll quickly just run through the 4 tips for tomorrow's racing. The extra tip, the first tip of the day, is Johnny Drama in the Winter Derby, 240 at Lingfield, 7-1, 0.5 win only bet. We then go to my next best in the 3 o'clock at Kempton with Atholl Street, 2-1, 1 point win only bet. We then go with the Nap, which runs in the 3:15 Ida Chase at Newcastle, Salty Boy, 9-2, 1 point win only bet. And then in the 3:35 at Kempton, Mellow Benny's the long shot of the day, 14-1, 0.5 each way, 6 places SkyBet. So they're the 4 tips for tomorrow's racing. Let me know in the comments box below what you fancy tomorrow. Also as well, if you're enjoying these videos, please remember to hit the thumbs up button and subscribe here to my YouTube channel at LuckyLoaders15. Also as well, if you want to follow me on social media, the best place to do so is on Twitter, where my handle is at LuckyLoader15. And if you want to find out a little bit more about myself, my website address is www.chrisloaderracing.co.uk. So please gamble responsibly. Hopefully we can have some winners tomorrow, and we'll be seeing you soon.